What is up, guys? Chris here, and thank you so much for 200 subscribers. It's taken a while, but I'm really happy we finally got there. And of course, I'm bringing you guys my 200 subscriber Q&A today. I got you guys something very rare, Black Ops 2 gameplay, not a big deal, a 50 and 10 ground wall kill confirmed gameplay using the AN-94, silencer, stock, and Fastmax, I believe. Pretty low streak setup, nothing too amazing, but it's a pretty solid gameplay overall. And I just want to quickly say, 200 subscribers, it may be humble by YouTube standards, but when you think about it, 200, that's a lot of people who's pressed that subscribe button, and I hope we can go on and get another 200 and build on top of that. And I do apologize if I sound a little bit weird right now, but that's because I have a crazy cold. I got it overnight, and my throat hurts, and my nose is just fucking stuffed, and it's awful. I'll probably fuck up a few words, but I hope you guys don't mind that too much. Without further ado, let's just hop into the Q&A. So yeah, first question from Elman Dilly W, and that is, what is your favorite game/game series of all time? So my favorite game of all time is probably Gran Turismo 4. I had a lot of fun on that game. Just played it a ton. I was only like 8 to 10 years old when I played that game, but I loved it. It's probably my favorite game of all time, and the Gran Turismo series is probably my favorite game series of all time. Played every game except for Gran Turismo 2 in that game series, so yeah, that's definitely gonna be my favorite game series. Even though Call of Duty, I love that series too, but overall, I think Gran Turismo is probably the one I enjoy the most. Next question from Burnout Fan 11: what inspired you to make YouTube videos, and when did you start gaming, and what game was it? So, the persons who inspired me, there's a lot here. So, originally I was inspired by a guy called Johnny Sports and another one called Cameister, and they were both in the FIFA community. I was really into FIFA back then, and when I saw what they did, like interacting with the subscribers and stuff, I got really inspired by them, and I wanted to start myself. Actually, I actually got an HD PVR before, but it didn't work. But after I started watching them, I decided to buy an Elgato, and that was kind of my original inspiration. But of course, I kind of just, as I started my channel, I didn't really enjoy FIFA that much anymore. It came quite suddenly, so I kind of just took a break, and then I got inspired by the Relaxing End and Syndicate, who did zombies at the time. Started doing a little bit of zombies, and then I got inspired by Nero Cinema and a little bit of LEA maybe, and the Marker J to do some multiplayer videos. And also Iniquity Rhymes is worth throwing in there, even though my videos aren't inspired by him, but he's just an inspiration in general. I think he's an awesome dude in the community. And when did I start gaming? I probably started gaming back in like 2003. No, actually I started gaming way before that, because my dad did have like a pretty good PC by the time, like back in the early 2000s, when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I used to play like Monster Truck Madness and Need for Speed and so on that. And he had like a steering wheel, and it was really awesome. I just loved it. So I guess that's when I started gaming. The first time I like gamed on my own console was probably Gran Turismo 4 back in like 2004, 2005, something along those lines. Next question from the Gaming Crackhead: what's the craziest thing I've ever done? So I'm not much of a crazy person, but when I think of the crazy stuff I've done, the first one that comes to mind is definitely the time I got like insanely drunk. And I don't even like to drink that much, but I just kind of lost it for one day. I'm not going to go too much into detail, because I kind of want to do a commentary on this, because I figured it would make for a pretty good video. But I got very, very drunk, and ended up in a bit of an unconventional place. Had like a crazy hangover the next day, and all I can say is drink responsibly. I don't recommend getting drunk, because it's not fun the next day. And really, except if you're happy, maybe drinking is okay, because it will kind of like, it will improve it will make you more happy. But if you're not in a good mood, then don't drink like ever, because it will enhance the mood you're in. So basically, if you're mad, you'll get more mad. If you're happy, you'll get happier. So yeah, drink responsibly. Next question from Danny B Gaming: what was the first console I ever played? So that must have been a PlayStation 1 at one of my uncle's place. That was not that long before I got my PlayStation 2, so the first console I ever played regularly was a PlayStation 2. The first one I ever played like the very first time that was a PlayStation 1, and I actually believe that was Tomb Raider. Not entirely sure. It may have been, yeah, a little bit of GT2 actually. I did not own that game, but I tried it at my uncle's place. So the first console I ever played was the PS1. Next question from Geometric. Where do you see yourself when you become big in YouTube? Everyone has to dream about sometimes. So honestly, I don't like to say like, where do you see yourself? Because a lot of people are in it for the money, and or like people just seem to be like, well, if you dream about going big on YouTube, you're in it for the money. So I just kind of strafe away from that. But since you're asking, well, when I become big, that's kind of difficult to say, because what is big on YouTube? So we'll just say like maybe 50k subs. Like hopefully going to some gaming events, getting to meet you guys, Geo, Tristan, and so on, and actually meeting you in real life, going to game events like maybe E3, maybe that's a bit of a long shot since it's in the US and I'm in Europe, but Gamescom and that sort, that would be really cool. But regardless, it'll be at least 2 years since I gotta finish my college first, and I simply don't have time to go abroad in school time and so on, which is usually where these game events come, like 1 week after school starts. It's really stupid, but hopefully meeting you guys and having a ton of really awesome subscribers, hopefully still being able to interact. That's kind of how I dream it will be. As I said, not in it for the money. I just want to interact with subscribers, have fun on YouTube. That's kind of how I started. Wanted to have fun, and also getting better at editing, because I'm actually in a media class where we learn that, and YouTube's just a great place to practice it. Got a little off track there. And Gio actually has another question. Have you ever tried to bring new content? I think you should do more than Destiny and COD. And yes, I actually have. I tried to do some, obviously I tried to do FIFA and stuff, but I actually tried to do some Watch Dogs, and that didn't work out too well. Obviously there's also the GTA stuff, but I think it's quite important with the channel that you keep it focused, you know what I mean? Like Destiny and COD, that's both first person shooters, and other games like maybe Battlefield, but it would have to be first person shooters in general, and maybe some funny moments. Of course, GTA, I've uploaded quite a bit of that too, but I'm not gonna bring too much other variety than Destiny and COD, simply because channels such as mine, they excel when they upload one kind of content and not like 20 billion sorts of content. I know PewDiePie has success with that, but he's not an FPS channel. He does all sorts of weird stuff, playthroughs and so on. So no, I'm probably not gonna bring too much variety in that sort. Of course, like take in subscriber suggestions and so on, I will do that, but in terms of games, not that much variety. Another question from GeoSani. What inspired you to make the name Apex Chris? So that's actually really easy to answer, because Chris is obviously my nickname from my friends, and Apex is a reference to motorsports, as in like in the middle of the corner where you hit the apex. So if you didn't know, I'm a big motorsports fan, and that's where the name comes from. Last question from Trisome HD. Will I make a setup video? And the answer is yes. So I actually wasn't sure if that was a question at first. I'm not going to show my face, by the way, just because I'm sick and I feel like shit, and I probably look like shit today as well because I'm sick. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Over here we have all my games. I have Black Ops 2, Ghost. I'm gonna try to see if I can do so you guys can see anything here. Just a second. Ghost, GTA. There's some one more here too. You can kind of see I play a lot of Call of Duty. Gran Turismo, haven't played it for a while, even though it's my favorite series. And an old Tomb Raider game. I have no clue. I actually think I learned this from one of my uncles. I never played it actually. Split Second, I got it. It didn't work. Then when I lost interest, it started working. Gran Turismo 5 is really dirty, the cover, I don't know why. It's my PS3 games right there. I'll hop into the PS4 games. Just give me 1 second. I don't know why I showed you all of those games. PS4 games are a little bit more interesting. We got some Battlefield 4, The Last of Us, awesome game, Infamous Second Son, Wolfenstein, Watch Dogs, and as you can see, I got Wolfenstein in the special edition. One of my birthday presents actually. My dad used to play the old one, so he got me the special edition. Then we hop over here, like a 32-inch television, way too big to play Call of Duty on, but it works. Oftentimes, like, miss out on people out here in the corners and like out here and stuff. It's really annoying. Then we have an iPhone cover right here that I don't use just because it actually annoys me when it's on the phone. PlayStation 3 controller and PlayStation 4 controller, my good old Blue Snowball microphone, and of course we have my PC right here, my laptop Asus. I'm not sure what you can see what's on the screen here. We got some Elgato, my recording software, as well as my Sony Vegas right here, my editing software obviously, and my Elgato is hidden behind here, just to make a little bit less of a mess with the wires and everything. So pretty cool right there. As you can see, my PlayStation 4 controller, sorry if you can see some figures there, it's actually connected to my PlayStation 3, which works very well. Also, by the way, that's my internet right there. I use Wi-Fi connection here because if I don't, it's just awful. So my mom actually paid a lot for that because I complained all the time. Imagine playing on like a 300 ping all the time, it's awful. PlayStation 4 is down here. As you can see, it's actually on standby mode due to the orange lighting here. It's set up with I actually don't have the Ethernet cable in right now, but you can see HDMI and power cord, pretty simple. And right now I have my Ethernet cables in the PlayStation 3. It's really dusty. It's because it's on the bottom. I don't really notice it. I think Black Ops 2 is in that right now. So yeah, it must be since it's the very first one. Then also just stuff and an extra Watch Dogs cover. Don't ask me why. And more stuff. Also, I have my headset here on the bed simply because there's so many wires. It's a mess. So I just took it out for this video simply because otherwise you would see nothing but wires all over the place and like a little bit of a shitty headset right there. Down there in the corner you can see, like, that's also part of my internet. It's like an extender thingy. And also my biggest fan over here, as well as, that's not really in the gaming setup department this, but an awesome, pretty awesome football right here. It's actually flat, but it's it's the real deal. It's the World Cup ball from 2010, Jabulani. Pretty sick ball. And that's about it. I also just have one last announcement I want to make, and that is I'm going to be restarting the subscriber shoutout series. Whether it's going to be the spotlight or simply doing shoutouts, that kind of depends, but I have my first video playing, doing some shoutouts, and I already have picked the guys. But if you want a shout out, simply let me know, and if I feel as though you put enough effort into YouTube, you will probably get a shout out at some point. Obviously this is quite dependent on you guys. Do you want a shout out? Then let me know, because we can help each other grow basically. The only requirement is you upload regularly and you put effort into your videos. Obviously I don't want to give you a shout out if you do really bad videos, but then again, not a lot of people do really bad videos. And if they do, I'll try to give you some constructive criticism, and you can try and get a new shout out at some point. So that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for 200 subscribers, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.